Aaron, thank you for joining me. You gave a cracking keynote the other week. Well done. How did it feel?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was very scary because I've been delivering a lot of the same content for a number of years now. And I always kind of thought if we get this gold medal, then it's a new ending to the story. But to completely flip it on its head and deliver a new keynote, and the feedback that it's got has been really positive. That was a great feeling.
Great. So, I mean, you've got a great story that you've been telling for a long time. What sort of process did you have to go through to find a new way of telling it, and obviously all this new stuff around the gold medal?
Well, it was really going back to basics and breaking the story down and looking at where we could interject the new parts of the story within the bigger keynote, and wanting to keep a few of the same messages that were there, but we had this kind of shiny new medal and ending as well. It took a number of weeks. It took an awful lot of practice, and it was just constantly just moving parts of it around, almost like a jigsaw, and just saying, no, that will go well there, and drip feeding little parts of the story in at the beginning and working through, and doing that alongside Steve, who's incredible and supporting me, obviously makes a massive difference.
Thank you. I'm really glad. I mean, it was really fun to work with you because it's such a fresh story. Because I mean, it literally happened last month. That was really interesting to be taking something that was still current and starting to turn it into a story and that made a point and all that stuff. And I mean, I know one of the things I said to you was you don't have to labour the point. Let your audience extract the meaning and the takeaways from it. I mean, are you feeling comfortable now telling that story, bearing in mind that it is so recent?
Yes, yeah. I've got a number of engagements booked in, and I'm going to be picking that up off the shelf and then using that moving forward. So it's still going to be a learning process and getting my timings and everything exactly nailed down. It's like when you've got a new talk. Sometimes in the middle of a moment, you're in a huge keynote and something drops into your mind that you want to put in there, and then you're constantly reshuffling at the back of your head, and like a swan, aren't you, where you're behind the scenes, everything's going on, but you're trying to stay calm for your audience. But for me as well, it was trying to get across the technical elements of my sport without going too technical. So you were a really good sounding board for that, because you'd say, Aaron, what on earth does that mean? And to me, because it's my bread and butter and it's the things I talk about all the time, I'd have no idea that I was completely bamboozling people. So it was really nice to have kind of the outsider to kind of push me back and challenge me as well, rightly so, about certain things. And as well, there was points to the story I didn't realize were as grand. So when I was explaining to you about drinking my cup of tea before a game, and I remember you saying, that's brilliant, you need to tell people about that.
Yeah.
So why? It's just a cup of tea. And then, it made it more real. So it was really nice to kind of go from that elite athlete kind of high performance element, but make it a bit more human as well with your support.
Yeah. Brilliant. I would say it was a pleasure to do, because it was, you've got a great story, and it's one of the things I love is helping people to tell great stories. So, in that respect, you've got possibly one of the best I think I've ever had the chance to work with, because, to suddenly be able to show a gold medal at the end of it is just the ultimate ending. As you say, it's a shiny new ending, literally. So
yeah. And it was kind of, I remember us toing and throwing at what point we actually show the medal. And what I really liked was the way that you helped me keep the motivation in there, but kind of in a way that could relate to people, but not make it too over the top, because that's more me. I don't like to give those big, huge motivational messages, but I wanted to make it motivating in the way that people could take that away and use it for themselves, but without that message. And you're really good at supporting me with that as well.
Brilliant, thank you. I would say it was a pleasure to do. So well done. It was a really good keynote, and I'm looking forward to seeing you take that out on the road, because I think you've got huge potential with that. I think there's a long way you can take that.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, thanks very much for all your support. Really appreciate it.